Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Rob's Movie Reviews. This week, I'd like to review a movie that is a kind of a science fiction slash action slash thriller. It stars Mel Gibson. It came out in 1979. It is named Mad Max. This is an awesome movie. I absolutely love this film. It sparked a franchise that would go on to see three more sequels, and there's been talk of possibly even more films. Uh, like I said, the film came out in 1979. It was all filmed in Australia, in and around the Melbourne area. For the budget that the film was made on, which was around, but somewhere between $400,000 and $500,000, so we'll say $500,000 budget, it actually did very well. It pulled in nearly $100 million in the worldwide box office. It did really well. It only received a limited release in the United States, and the franchise really wouldn't gain any major popularity until the second installment came out, entitled The Road Warrior, which I'll save for another review later on. But this film is some of the very early work of Mel Gibson when he was very young. It's a story of a police officer in the not too distant future where the world's oil supply is rapidly drying up. The world is kind of in the beginning stages of collapsing and falling into chaotic anarchy. And Australia is being terrorized by a psychopathic motorcycle gang, which they have basically made the highways unsafe to travel. At the beginning of the movie, we see one of the members of the gang has escaped jail, has stolen a car. He calls himself the Night Rider, and there are several highway patrolmen chasing after him, and he's just very ruthless in his tactics. He ends up causing several of them to crash, and that's when we get introduced to Mel Gibson's character, Max. He has the fastest car in the entire department. It's actually, they refer to it as one of the last of the V8s. It is one mean ass car. I'm not sure the make or the model of the car. I'm thinking it's some kind of Chrysler, but I could be wrong about that. But he starts chasing the Night Rider, and he ends up distracting the Night Rider with one of his maneuvers, which causes him to crash and burn, and the Night Rider is killed. As soon as the word gets back to the gang what has happened, the leader of the motorcycle gang, Toe Cutter, makes it his mission now to find this person that was responsible for Night Rider's death and seek revenge on him. They start tracking Max down. One of his best friends that's on the department with him is killed by this gang, and the department is just it's in the midst of falling apart anyway. And Max decides the best thing he can do is just take his family and flee to the country to get out away from the city. He has family that has a farm in the countryside, and hopefully they can hide out there until the police are hopefully able to bring this situation under control, which he does have doubts that that'll happen. But he gives his resignation. He leaves the force. He takes his wife and his baby out to the country. Unfortunately, they are followed by the gang. They find out where they're staying at, and while Max is busy doing something, he's away from the farm for a short while. They show up. They chase after his wife. She gets in the car with the baby and tries to get away. The car runs out of gas. She gets out and she's running down the highway, and they just mow her down, killing her and the child. And this is when Max absolutely loses it, and he goes after the gang, and it's a pretty brutal revenge that he seeks on the gang. He kills off several members until he finds his way to Toe Cutter, and he finishes off Toe Cutter in a very brutal fashion. I'm not going to give too many details in case you haven't already seen the film. It's a wonderful movie. If you like movies set in kind of a apocalyptic type, future, even though at this point in the franchise, it's not really apocalyptic yet, but you can see that, like I said, society is beginning to crumble, anarchy is beginning to take over, and it's obvious that it's just a matter of time till we're basically in an apocalyptic type of world where it's going to be just the strong survive, and there's going to be a whole lot of murder and destruction, and there are no consequences to pay for your actions because there'll be no justice. That's the direction that we see the world heading in this film, and we see more of that in the following films. But if you have not seen Mad Max, I highly recommend it. It is a great film. It's a fun watch. It's an action-packed movie. Does have some elements of suspense to it. It's just a really fun watch. So I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen it already. And I'm going to wrap up this review, and I just want to take a quick moment to apologize. I've been really busy here for the last few weeks, and I've been getting these videos out late. I promise I'll get back on a more regular schedule as soon as I possibly can. I can see it in the near future. Things should be panning out for me and getting a little smoother, and I should be able to get back to a regular schedule. So again, just let me apologize for that. And until next time, you all take care.